I don't know how this video is going to sound with me chomping on this apple all the way through it, but I figured since we're talking digestive system, I might as well be digesting some stuff as we're talking about it. So the first part of the digestive system, obviously, is going to be your mouth. You do have a whole bunch of special parts and pieces that will allow you to digest food. Your teeth are very important to your digestion. They are designed in such a way to eat certain types of foods, and you can see, looking at other different types of animals, the food that they eat, a lot of it is based off of their teeth. So we have some sharp teeth and we have some flat teeth. So in general, we're going to be eating some flesh and we'll be eating some plant material. If you look at deer or elephants or horses, you're going to see they have lots of flat grinding area because they're going to be grinding those tough parts of those plants down. Your cats, they have basically straight molars for cutting and ripping through flesh because they are pretty much strict carnivores. So, teeth. You also have a tongue. The tongue is going to be moving that food around, and it's also going to create a little ball of food that's going to allow you to swallow it down. And the other thing you're going to have are salivary glands. Now, some people can gleek, and what gleeking is, you can spray your saliva out. It's disgusting, especially now in the COVID times. You produce a lot of saliva to wet your food, to let it go down your esophagus, which then goes into your stomach. Your ability to move food to your stomach is incredible. You can swallow upside down.
All right, I've got my water, yay full. I'm going to drink this upside down. Let's give it a rip and hopefully I don't throw up. That is peristalsis. I just drank water upside down. It went from my mouth up to my stomach, no problemo. Normally reserved for college campuses, but today brought to you by me.
Personally, I prefer eating sitting up. So, we can see that we can send that food down even if we're on our head, and that is called peristalsis. It's just like squeezing toothpaste out of a tube. You got to use your hands to kind of squeeze the toothpaste out. That's just peristalsis. That's how that works. You can have reverse peristalsis, that is throwing up, and you can see how strong those contractions can be because you can have projectile vomiting where you really send some of that stuff out, which is pretty gross. So that is getting food down into the stomach through your esophagus, not to be confused with your trachea, which is this outer tube that is going to be allowing air travel. You do have a little flap in there called your epiglottis that hopefully prevents food from going down into your trachea and choking you. It then will go down through your first sphincter. It's a weird word, but it is a opening into your stomach. And it opens up, lets the food drop in, and then closes, so hopefully that food doesn't splash back out or those acids splash back out, which would give you heartburn. So your stomach, it's down there, and it's got a couple functions. It is gonna start some of that digestion, which was already started with some of the saliva in your mouth. I forgot to mention that. Some of those acids are gonna help break things down, but what those acids really are going to do is sterilize your food, try to kill most of the bad bacteria and nasties that might be on your food to keep you safe. It's also going to, churn and do some more mechanical digestion. If you ever put your ear up against somebody's stomach, you'll hear that gurgling and that crunching and sloshing around of your stomach. It's a muscular bag moving all those things around.
That's good. Processing nicely. Processing very, very nicely. All right.
Now, what somebody might ask, how come the stomach doesn't digest itself if it has all those nasty acids in there? Well, it kind of does. It's constantly replacing cells of the stomach. It does have a mucus lining to kind of help out. So there is a battle going on between keeping your food clean and broken down and not breaking yourself down. So the food, once it's sitting in your stomach, and it stores your food there too, so you don't have to eat a bite and then wait to digest and then eat a bite. So you've got that food sitting in there, it's cleaned, it's broken down a bunch more from that sloshing. It will leave out the bottom sphincter of that stomach into your duodenum, and that's just the first part of your small intestine. And in that area, we are going to be adding some digestive enzymes. We've talked about enzymes, that they're proteins that cut things up. We're also going to put a couple other types of chemicals, bile from your liver. It's going to help break down some fats. The pancreas is the thing that's dumping in these enzymes to help break stuff down. And the pancreas also is going to dump in some neutralizing solutions to prevent your small intestines from being destroyed by the acid from your stomach. So it neutralizes it. And the small intestine is really the most important part of your digestive process. That is the spot where we are actually pulling in those nutrients into our bloodstream. And you're gonna see that the small intestine has fingers sticking out all through it. And on the fingers, there are tiny little fingers. And on those fingers, there's even more fingers. And all it's doing is increasing that surface area to volume ratio to get as much stuff into the bloodstream as possible. So it goes through your small intestine, you're removing all the good stuff that you want out of that, and then it eventually makes its way to the large intestine. There's another sphincter there that allows the undigested food particles to go into the large intestine. You'll also have a little extra dangly thing there, which we'll call the appendix. And sometimes you probably heard of people's appendixes or appendi, I don't know. Those things getting infected and bursting, and that can be dangerous because your guts, they are filled with bacteria, but that bacteria is inside the guts. If it gets outside of the guts, but then inside your body, that's bad. Going through the large intestine, there is a little bit more breakdown occurring, but really the main function that we're going to discuss with the large intestine is taking back a lot of that water. You want to save as much water as possible, and then you also don't want super watery waste. You want to have, just saving your water, I guess I would say. So eventually, the undigested food particles, the water is removed. You are left with a lot of bacteria and undigested food, and then that has to leave the body, and it goes through the classic ones of the colon, the rectum, and then through the anus is where they go. I know they're funny. They're funny words. That's just how it is. So that is the digestive system, a brief overview of how you go from an apple, eating it, how you can eat it upside down, clean it, break it down, digest it, goes into nutrients, remove the water from everything, and then it leaves your body. I hope that made sense. A little long-winded, but it's a long travel all the way through there. All right, so enjoy.